So we start feet together. This is always just to get our reference point where we need to be. Feet apart. Your feet are as wide as your shoulders. Shoulders, hips, knees, toes all line up straight. Arms up. So open up your lungs and chest. Arms down as you press the breath out. So I do this little shift here and there, to release more tension. Do it as you feel comfortable. Everything is doing what you feel comfortable here. Don't feel like you have to do something if it's not in your best interest. So this is a big heart shape. We get to the bottom, we end up in front of our real heart, we push down. So everything starts at the top. Inhale. Exhale. So if everything's starting at the top, my chin is up, my arms are up. That helps me to arch my spine. Drop your chin, round your spine. So the position of your head, your skull, is directly relative to either your spine being able to arch easily or to round easily. In the process, we get this wave of movement going. Inhale, relax your eyes. Exhale. Inhale. So if your eyes are heavy, your vision gets a little soft. The focus, that is. And take the tension off your eyes. Inhale, breathe through your nose. Exhale through your nose. As much as possible, breathe through your nose. Inhale. Open and expand. Close and contract. So if somebody was watching this from a, bystander point of view, they might call this a guided meditation. I'm kind of giving you the groundwork for what we're doing. Someone else might look at it and say, oh, that's a scan. That's a body scan meditation. Because you're starting to become aware of all the different pieces and parts of your body as we scan from top to bottom. So when I bring my arms up, tongue up. Squish the tongue to the roof of your mouth. Let your tongue drop to the bottom of the mouth. Inhale. So as we're going to push down with the hands, try to pull back, squish your abdomen muscles. Relax the abdomen as you inhale. Exhale. So by moving the abdomen, we're moving the diaphragm, which is the muscle between the lungs and the organs that basically helps us to inhale and exhale. So let's keep going, working our way down. Shift your hips forward. Shift your hips back. So that shifting, again, helps to get the spine to roll, gets our foot to roll, so you feel your big toe, little toe ball of your foot. When you shift your hips back, try to feel the weight on your heel. So again, this is that scan, being aware of your body. You're getting input as you do it, what's stiff or tight or what feels good. So let's do a couple more and then we're going to move on. Inhale. Feel the wave of movement. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Hey there. So we try to do 5 minutes. The song goes in 5-minute increments. It takes really about 3 minutes of that deep breathing mechanism to reset your breathing to where you feel more relaxed. Sometimes you can do it in a breath or two, but really it takes about 3 minutes. So here we interlock our fingers and then stretch above. If you can't go above, go in front. But whatever amount you can move. Let the hands release. Get to about shoulder high. Now it's like you're pulling in or gathering in something in front of you, which will be another breath. And then we kind of squish our chest, our sternum, our navel. The navel's probably the only one that you can actually move. Do a little shift. So I shrug my shoulders. I drop my shoulders as I drop my hips, like I'm gathering in some sand, scoop up. As I come up, I turn over the hands, straighten the legs, straighten the arms. So again, if you can't go up, it's going to be out in front here. Or if your shoulders just don't like doing that. And then we again would come to the sides, and then back. And then back to your face. Don't touch your chest, but just picture you're squishing it by letting the breath out. Feel a little tension there, and then relax. Up, down, gather in. All the way up to here, that's like your inhale. Here's the exhale as your arms part. Gather in. Squish the breath out. So we can also do the rounding and arching of the spine when we do this. So here, I arch my back, I slightly round my back. As I come up, my back is again straight, maybe a bit arched. And release the breath. Dip your chin a little bit, round your back. Arch your back. So you can do that, if you want to pay attention to it, or not. If you don't worry about it and you just kind of go wherever, you're not going to injure your back by not arching or rounding it. If we were doing some twisting, then that'd be a different issue, though. Inhale. Exhale. So let's do one more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. All right, so we're going to finish up this particular portion. So we do a finish with a splash on the bottom, a flick and twist on the top, chin up, and then chin down. So really I'm just dropping my neck. Splash, look up, and then down. One more, straight up, and then straight down. And there's the locking of the knees and elbows, relaxing of the knees and elbows. So to go back to what I was talking about a minute or so ago, when we do any movements in this plane, that's called the sagittal plane, like you're rolling a ball or spinning a wheel, you can do stuff with your back. You can arch and you can round. That's great. When we start to do anything with a twist, that's where you should be more aware that you don't want your butt arched with your back like that. And then you go to twist. Oh, this feels like my back is going to get strengthened. Actually, people injure their back from doing that. Picture back in the days, the heavy televisions. You're going to lift up the TV. Where do you want it? Over here. And you got all this tension on your spine because you're holding it with your back arch, and you twist, and then for the next month, your back is in pain. So with our stuff, none of it has much weight. There's not a lot of weight training in our class, right? But whenever you find yourself in a spot where you might be turning your spine, it wouldn't be with your rear end back and arched like that. And I'll usually call it out when we're doing it. That thing we just did with this, there's another set or sequence that we'll do where there's a twist in it. And that's all fine, as long as you don't jut your rear end out and arch your lower spine and then try and twist. And even then, it might not bother you one or two times, but then over time, doing it, it will. Okay, so now we got this next set. We start with our feet together. This is a bit of the strum the guitar movement, where your arm kind of comes up, your hands by your elbow. Crouch down. So your weight is distributed, but now we go to the left, arm to the right. Shift your hips. The arms do a big ward off. Feet come in, arm goes up. So this is all number one, all to here. Number two, reach out, come to your side. 3, shift your hips. 4, reach across. So why did I just break it down like that? Because it's in 4 parts. The first couple of these exercises will all have like 4 parts to them. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this will change. So when this comes in and the arm is, now I'm going to go up. Try to balance if you can on one leg. And then down. And then it's the same. Reach out, wind up, reach across. Foot and hand comes in. So if you just try to stand on one leg from here, it might be a little difficult. So that's why lower your center of gravity. Now try to come up. Set the foot down, set it out. So breathe as you may, but this is a good time to breathe in. And breathe out as you push across. And here you can even flex and lock, but then make sure to back off and sink. Foot comes in, arm comes up. Inhale. Try to balance. Exhale. So this is like the wave rolling up the beach here. But in our case, we can do a little bit of a stretch and then back off to get into the Tai Chi ward-off position. If this is fine, we start to add some other stuff. Right hand to the side, this hand waves. And then as it comes back, the foot comes with it, and then I come up, and then everything again is the same. Feel the stretch, and relax. Hand comes in. So these all have a bit of coordination elements to it, and timing, balance, stretching, and maybe some strength for some of you. You feel your legs get stronger as you do this. So let's do this. If we can get the arm moving, my head follows with my spine. I look straight up or straight forward. There I can get some stability to balance. So I really spend a lot of time on this first one because it has so much going on. So I follow my hand. If I go to stand up now, I'm going to fall over because I don't have a stable spot for my eyes, so I got to look forward. Pick a spot with your eyes, and then move through it. All right, one more. Move the head, move the spine. Pop up. Roll the beach up the shore. All right, so again, that 4 pacing, 4 steps. Pull in. Squish across to your opposite hip. Set the foot down. So that's 1. We do the same on the other side. Come across, squish. Horse stance, that's 2. 3, cross your arms, uncross, you're like a big X. Bend your spine forward, squat down as far as you can go. That's 3. 4, straighten your back, straighten your arms, spread your fingers apart. I'll give you the side view. Go up as far as you can. Go down, go up. We actually go down and up. It's just 2 parts. All right, so let's try it again. I shift, squeeze in, squish. Set the foot down. Bend your wrist down. That's an unusual position for your wrist. We do the other side. Pull, squish. These are all Qigong exercises. Movement with regulated breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Straighten your back, straighten your arms. Fingers down. Thumb up. If this is all fine, we start to play with the balance a little bit, and we look over the shoulder, and then look back forward. So anytime you change your focal point or your spot of looking, that plays with your nervous system and how we balance, stabilize the body. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Fingers down, thumb up, exhale. So if this is all fine, forget about looking over your shoulder for a moment and try to touch your elbow to your knee and then down. Elbow to your knee and then down. Last part's all the same. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So one more would be to lift your leg, touching your elbow to your knee and looking over your shoulder, and then forward. So you might have to pace it out a little bit. If you do it all at the same time, it's going to be more challenging. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So these are really good exercises for whatever you're feeling. Horse stance to bow stance. What am I feeling? I feel the stretch, like I'm putting a teacup up on a shelf. Neck, back, shoulder, wherever. And then over here, horse stance. This hand comes to meet. Like you're smearing your hands into a big circle on the front wall. Scoop up the hand. Now we're ready to do the other side. Feel the stretch. Open your lungs and breathe out. Circle up and breathe in, down, out. All right, so we're going to add a little bit more again. Inhale, squish, exhale. So the first circle is in the front here. And then my hand comes to my side. My next circle goes above my head. And then I scoop up and reach. Now notice how when I lean into this, I'm not rounding my back. Here, my back is arched. Open up, back is arched. Come across, back is rounded. Back is arched. Back is rounded. Go behind your head if you can. Arch. Arch. So again, you can just kind of go along and don't worry about it, or you can put a little more effort and thought by what your spine is doing. Inhale. If your hips and knees are somewhat bent and your center of gravity is low, you can go even further behind. Scoop up and reach. All right, one more and then we'll move on. Inhale. Exhale. In. Out. In. Out. All right, so we're going to turn back to the front here. Bring your feet in a little bit. Round your spine. Dipping your chin. Go as far as you can go. If you have high blood pressure, you might be careful not going too far past your head, past your heart, but if you're fine, do what you're comfortable with. You get to your lowest spot, wherever that is, like you're circling the hands, you're gathering in. Keep your hips and knees bent. Try and turn your palms so you can see them. And then we're going to try and go up and a bit back. All right, so this has that 4 count. Each time we do it, we're going to try to go a little bit farther back. So now we come from here. Here's the arches. I always call them the McDonald's arches. Gives you something to anchor your thought. You get to the bottom. Even if you're not that low, shift your weight. Stop shifting, gather in. Hips and knees are bent. So now in my thought, in my mind, I know I'm going to do 2. 2 is a little farther. Up and a little bit farther back. If your shoulders don't like that, you can turn your hands this way too. But here, you'll start to engage a whole other set of muscles in your back. So here we go, 3, all the way down. Shift a little bit, let the dead weight of your arms help stretch. Gather in. Inhale when we're coming up. So now I'm doing 3, a little bit higher, a little bit farther. And then back. And breathe out. Usually it's easier to exhale as you're bending. If you try to inhale and you're bent forward, your breathing is going to be shallow, but you still have to breathe, right? But right here, as I straighten up, here's a good time to breathe in. Open the lungs. So now I'm going to go as far back as I can go comfortably without pulling over. Reach back. And then back to where we started from. All right, we're going to do that one more time through the whole set of 4. Inhale. Exhale. And there's a whole bunch of these exercises. Hopefully I'm giving you enough variety that you find some that you like. The ones you don't like as much because they don't feel good, then you just kind of bear through it a little bit and adjust until we go on to the next one. All right, so now we got 2. Inhale. Exhale. Gather in. Inhale. 3. Keep your hips and knees bent. Arch your spine. And back. You know, if you watch Instagram or YouTube or what's the other one, Facebook, you'll see people doing this stuff, and probably like a 19-year-old, like, oh, what I can do. They'll probably do like a bridge and fall back onto their hands, and then you're like, oh my gosh, you know, that's great. And then you'll see some 70-year-old person do it, and it won't look as pretty. So we'll just finish that one. We already did 4. Come down and breathe out. All right, so we're going to do one more of these, and then it'll probably be break time. So picture, again, you got those McDonald's arches, and then the flower opens up. You bring your hands and arms to the side to make a W shape, and then we'll come back. So again, a sequence of 4. Each time I do this, I try to go farther back to eventually whatever that farthest spot's going to be. Try to keep your hands level with your eyes, though. All right, so now we got, say, 2. Second one, I'm going to go further. And then back. Exhale. Hands and arms stay just totally loose. 3. Farther. Your hips and knees still stay a little bit bent for stability. 4. As far as you can go back, stretching, keeping your hands level with your eyes, and then back. All right, so if that's fine, we're going to move our right leg back. There's our bow stance with our feet about shoulder width, front knee bent, back leg straight. We do the same exact thing, but now you got a little bit more stability here. So you can round your back even a little bit more, and then again, try to arch and bring your arms to the sides. 2, inhale. Exhale. So you're probably going to find this paradox, or what do they call that? Yeah, paradox. Try to go as far as you can when you're doing this, but don't tense your neck and shoulders. You're trying to stretch, but stay relaxed in the process of doing it. So sometimes that's hard to do. You end up tightening up. All right, so if that's fine, drop your arms and forget about them for a moment. Take your back leg, and you're going to try to bring it in front. So that might be a swing for some of you. You're swinging it. If you don't feel comfortable swinging it, it might just be trying to balance. If you need a chair, there's chairs, tables all over the place. So this has the same progression of 4. So let me just do it one time. So I'm going to do 1, about knee high. 2, waist high. 3, solar plexus. 4, face. Okay, I can do that. I don't expect all of you to be able to comfortably do that. If you can, you know yourself, do it. Otherwise, you just kind of stay put and do where you're comfortable. 1, try and bring it back to the same spot. 2, a little higher. 3, a little higher. 4, whatever that highest spot is, and you bring it back. So you got this down. You guys are experts, right? Now we're going to put the hands with the leg. So it's going to be a little stretch, a little swing, a little more stretch, a little higher. And you can just do this, as I'm talking here. 3, a little more stretch, a little higher. 4, as far as you can go, high and stretching back. So let's do this one more time on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. So on the last one, I'm not worrying too much about the breathing pattern. You'll all figure out what you're comfortable with. So let's just do the left side. Same thing to start with the arms. In, out. 2, a little further. Out. So if your arms don't enjoy that, your neck, your shoulder, you could also do it down here. That's fine. It's just you're going to engage different muscles and different parts compared to if you're doing it here. All right, so we got one more. It'll be 4, as far as you can go. and back. So now the leg. 1, you might notice one side's better. 2, 3, 4. So as I've been talking about your eyes, having a spot for your eyes, when we do this one, it's good to have something to put your eyes on. Picture frame, you know, the window frame, the lectern, whatever. So I got 1, arms are for stability, 2, 3, 4. One more with the arms. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, finish it up with the splash down. Twist up. Deep breath. Another, in, out, straight up, in, down and out. So the balance thing, I know it's hard for some of you, it's like, I don't want to do that stuff. The way you improve your balance is by practicing losing your balance. The more you get, okay, losing it, I'm not stable, that makes your nervous system start to reset, and you'll do things like either adjust your weight distribution or grab a chair. Best thing is not to just not do it, because it doesn't get better. Balance does not get better by not doing anything. So usually the first thing we do after the break is get into the Tai Chi fundamentals. Got some new people that have been coming, so I want to make sure I go over the 3 ways how to walk, so I don't forget doing that. So if we get started here, if I want to walk forward, which this is the Tai Chi walking we keep hearing about, your feet are together, turn your left foot, knee and hip, 45 degrees. The other foot does our empty stance. So I'm just giving you the side view there, right? Turn the foot, knee and hip, empty stance. So if I draw a triangle in front of my body and I go from my left shoulder to my right shoulder, that's what I want to do with my heel. Left shoulder, right shoulder. I go from my heel, now I go foot flat, and then I shift the weight. So that's our bow stance, like we're drawing a bow. That's what that's referring to. So if we want to keep stepping forward each time, we always have to turn the foot, knee, and hip before we put the weight on it. You don't want to turn the knee and the hip when you have all the weight. So pivot on your heel where it's able to spin, sink down. So my left leg is now my anchor. Go from the heel to the other heel, or heel to the right side rather, shift. So if I'm going forward, I shift back, turn this front knee, foot and hip, then my foot catches up. Now I go from right to left. So this little hover, that's the key piece right there that people get hooked into for the Tai Chi walking. That's where you lose your stability or your balance. The slower you can go before you set it down, that's going to help you, okay? If you just set it down and you make the clopping noise like a horse, you're not developing much balance or stability. Okay, so that's stepping forward. Stepping sideways is like a slinky. Remember the slinky toy? Stretch it out. As soon as your heel comes down, this other foot comes up. So it's kind of like you're line dancing, I think, right? Go out, and then the other leg comes in. Try to look straight, as opposed to looking at your feet. So as soon as one goes down, the other one comes in. We want to go back. So this is like the pool, the water's cold. Put your foot in. As soon as it comes down, the slinky slides back, right? Oftentimes you'll notice one side is better than the other. So that's our sideways walking that we'll do with the wave arms like clouds. Might be 1 or 2 exercises like snake creeps, where we kind of get that side walking. Walking backwards. Oh, let's just walk backwards. Well, yeah, there's a little bit more to it. So if we face this side, turn your feet on an angle first. So this is our Bagua stance, which I teach and talk about quite often. Very stable. So we're going to go from stable to not as stable, but more mobility. If you move this foot, you can actually like pivot and turn, okay? More mobility. So we go from here to right next to your ankle. and then your leg goes back, your hips are slightly crossed, uncross. Here's our bow stance like we just did a little while ago. Scoot your hips back, and your foot will drag back a little bit. That's where we end up with repulse monkey. So each time, I don't necessarily need to do all those pieces. We really just go from empty stance by your ankle to the back and scoot onto your back leg. So I got about 70 or 80% of the weight on my back leg here. This foot, I could move it if I wanted to. When we do the hand movements, it ends up looking kind of like that, right? So that's stepping back. Go to your ankle, go behind, scoot on. Your back foot ends up on an angle, 45 degrees with your foot, knee, and hip. Front foot is straight. So it's very easy just to go from bow stance to this stance. Very easy just to slide back a little bit, okay? So that's the fundamental part we're working on today. Time to put it to rest. We're gonna do the big set momentarily. We're just gonna do the 5 directions, forward and back, left and right and center. All right, we do that almost every class, right? Good review. Turn your hip. There's our empty stance. Catch the ball. So here's our 8 arm gestures. From bow stance, we have ward off. We have roll back. We have a shoulder bump, an elbow poke. Press or squeeze your wrists together, and it really comes from your back foot up to your shoulders to your hand to push. Pull, a little fancy flick in there, push. To turn, I go all the way to the left side. That makes this leg light so it can turn. Now I put the weight on it so this foot turns. Go all the way back, hold the teacup, pinch, split. You're splitting your hands. So then it starts again. Ward off, roll back. Shoulder, elbow, press, pull, push. Turn to the right, adjust your feet. Twist to the left, adjust your arms. Step to the right, split. So this is an important step right here, this stance. We try to get our hand over our foot, elbow over our knee. This is the most important part, your shoulders over your spine. Very few of the movements do we bend forward. There's like 2 or 3 of them, that's it. Very few of the movements do we do like this. You know, you don't arch your back. It's comfortable. If there's any twist in it, your tailbone tucks, all right? So that's our 8 exercises. We're gonna end up going all the way over there. So you need to move a bit to the right side. Here's our little hover. Arms up and down. Shift. Hold the ball. Bow stance with your leg. Part the horse's mane. So we gotta do 3 of those. So again, each time shift back, turn that front leg, which is lighter, put the weight on it, and then we do the other side. It's like you're holding onto a horse's neck and you're kind of combing its mane. Part the horse's mane. Feet come together and then apart into empty stance. So oftentimes I'll say adjust your feet, and you can just kind of simplify that. Okay, that's what that is. Twist left, find your pulse, shoulder, elbow, wrist, split the hands, split the arms. So that's white crane spreads its wings. Set your foot down. Past your face. Once, twice, reach back. As you pull in, your left hand drops to do brush knee, and you push in front of your face. So we're gonna do this again. Shift back, turn the hip, step forward. So now I bring the arm to here on the other side, like you're holding a ball. Brush knee as you push. So we got 3 of those. Always adjust your feet first, and then your waist, and then the arms. If the arms are in the wrong spot, not a big deal. If your feet are in the wrong spot, you either fall over or your knees start to hurt. Feet adjust, strum the guitar. Stand on one leg, set your toes down, set your heel down. So now you know this is as far as we'll end up. Look over your shoulder. So here's that backward stepping. Foot by your ankle, and then the foot, your hips scoot back. 4 times. Look over your shoulder, make sure nobody's there. Push on top, pull on the bottom. Look where you're going. 3 times. Push and pull. 4 times. Push and pull. So usually backwards walking is the one that's a little more difficult for some people. So now here's our 8. Ward off. Roll back. Shoulder bump. Elbow poke. Press with the wrists. Pull. Push. So that's it on that side. We turn now. And then we do the other side. Ward off. Roll back. Kind of like a teeter-totter. You know, back in the day, teeter-totter, seesaw, back and forth. Okay, now we do our turn. All the way back. There's our split. So that's the fundamental 8th thing that we did just a few minutes ago. Turn your feet straight. Come to your opposite hip. So this is kind of, you know, this is the slinky. Your feet go, your feet push, your waist shifts, and your hands and arms come at the end. And then that foot snaps in. You do just the right side. So every time we move to the left, we do this whole squatting down, parting the legs. When we do the right side, we kind of stand up and the feet come together. So there's 3 of those. Inhale. Exhale. All right, so I'm going to recenter myself. As we get to this spot, we end up digging a hole in the corner there a little bit. So we did the last wave hands like clouds. Turn your palm up. Adjust your feet. As this comes over, there's the pinch. There's the split. Okay, adjust your feet, but this time turn a little bit towards the corner. Adjust your feet usually means empty stance, right? Reach up. Brush knee at the waist, pat the high horse, relax your spine. This is a good spot where, again, you wouldn't want to have your rear end out, your chin up, and you try and twist. Pull your tailbone in, dip your chin, and let your spine twist like a spring. Okay, adjust your feet towards the corner, arms cross. They open like a flower. If you can balance, try to come up. If you can balance, point your toes. Pull your toes, reach for your foot. Yep, there's a lot going on there. Do what you're able to. Set the foot down, kind of rub or scrub. We call this scrubbing when you create friction. Double punch. Sink down. Okay, now the same on the left, but no double punch. Scoop up, open like a flower, stabilize yourself by sinking your hips, try and lock, and then down. Okay, so here we go. Right hand pinches, this arm is free to move. This is like the snake. This hand is the bird, right? It's the snake and bird, snake and crane. Pop up. Stand on one leg, arm up. So we do the other side. There's the crane, here's the snake creeping, pops up. When we do this standing on one leg, this is rooster, stands on one leg. Okay, catch a big ball, step, bow stance. As you flip the ball, you start to push it. And then right about here, you split it. One arm goes out, the other comes back by your eye. We do that same thing on the other side. Catch a big ball, squish it, flip it. My lower body's stable, push and split. Okay, we're getting towards the last part here. So now we go again, up. We've done this like 2 or 3 times, reaching up, brush knee. This time we lean, arching your spine. Yes, don't twist your spine, just arch and lean forward. Then we straighten up, arms cross. And again, like you're opening, you're smearing, you're opening a fan. And at the end, they split. Relax your shoulders. Turn, split. Make fists, roll your wrists, your fists, and they split. 2 splits, up and down, and then side to side. Toes up, fist up. Toes down, hand pushes a little bit across and you punch. Come behind, find your tricep, slide down, push. Turn to the kitchen, which is this corner, step to that corner, scoop up, taking a deep breath as you open your lungs. Arms come in as you exhale. We do the whole thing again. We go up and down. We start it again. So it's a loop. It loops back into the first part. So this time I'm not going to talk as much. We're just going to say what the movements are. Part the horse's mane. Part the horse's mane. White crane spreads its wings. Brush knee for 3 times, but the first one has a little extra. Brush knee with a push. Brush knee with a push. Strum the guitar. All right, repulse monkey for 4. Always looking where you're going. Repulse monkey. All right, so when we do this whole set of 8, it's as if you have a bird and it keeps landing on your wrist. And you keep kind of playing with it and letting it go. So we call this whole part grasp the sparrow's tail. Instead of me saying all the 8, we do the same on the other side. Grasp the sparrow's tail would be all of this. And then this is typically referred to as splitting or single whip, like a whip at a circus. Wave arms like clouds 3 times. Finish it up with another split. All right, I'm just going to recenter a little bit here. Pat the high horse. These are typically referred to as heel kick. Even though there's other parts and pieces, it's heel kick. Double punch. Heel kick. Snake creeps. Rooster on one leg. Even if you don't do the standing on one leg, it's still rooster. Snake creeps. Rooster on one leg. This is like you're on a loom or a weaving device. It's called working the shuttle, which is that little piece of wood with the string on it. Work the shuttle. This is needle with the fingers pointing at the bottom of the C, needle at the bottom of the C. Open the fan. Block, parry, another name for block, but block, parry, punch. This little fancy thing here is called apparent closing, even though it's a big push. This is really a transition to end, which gets us back into the opening. So this time around, I'm just going to slow it all down. If you can go slower with the foot, the waist, and the arms. Breathe as you need to, but generally it's one breath for each one step. Breathe in. Breathe out. In. Out. So practicing it this way is like you're in a pool of water up to your neck. You can only move so fast through the water. Grasp the sparrow's tail. So I'm going to back up ahead of time here. So if we're doing it the last time, I would just, again, recenter myself a little bit here so you're all in front. Twist on the bottom, or splash on the bottom, twist on the top. Like water settling down from the top to the bottom. But your hands and arms bringing the blood and the oxygen up. Straight up. And down. Lock for just a moment. Feel the contrast between being tense and being relaxed. So hopefully everybody feels wonderful. You noticed I didn't talk that last time hardly at all. It gave you a bit more of a chance to get inside your own head and like, okay, what should I be thinking? What should I be doing with the breathing? You know, I'm just a guide. You follow me the best you can. I'm still working on this stuff. I've been doing it geez, 46 years, and I'm still trying to learn and improve and maintain, what I have. So don't beat up on yourself too much. You all did wonderful. I didn't hear anybody fall, crash, or run into each other, so that's all good. One more class before I head out for a couple weeks, so be well, be safe.